Some beaches look like paradise, until the ocean reminds you who is really in control. Across the world, there are beaches where waves drag people into freezing water, sharks patrol the shallows, tides return faster than you can run, and crocodiles wait near river mouths. Today, we're counting down the top 9 scariest beaches in the world. And stay until number 1, because the final beach is so dangerous that swimming has been legally banned. Before we begin, comment which beach you would be most afraid to enter. Number 9. Chandipur Beach, India. At Chandipur Beach, the ocean does something so strange that first-time visitors often stop and stare. It disappears. Imagine standing on a beach in eastern India, watching the water retreat farther and farther. Soon, the sea is no longer at your feet. It is a far-off line on the horizon. Chandipur Beach in Odisha is famous for its dramatic tidal retreat. During low tide, the water can move several kilometers away, exposing a vast stretch of seabed that looks walkable. This happens because the seabed is extremely shallow and flat. A change in water level translates into a huge horizontal movement. To visitors, it can feel like the ocean has vanished, but the ocean always comes back. The danger is the returning tide. It does not always come back as one dramatic wave. It can return as a wide, fast-moving sheet of water that spreads across the exposed seabed. What felt like a harmless walk can quickly become a race back to shore. Tourists are drawn to Chandipur because it offers something rare, the chance to walk where the ocean stood just hours earlier. But local warnings exist for a reason. The beach teaches a simple lesson. When the sea moves away, it is not gone. It is only waiting to return. But Chandipur is frightening because the ocean disappears. The next beach is frightening because the ocean and the desert seem to be working together against anyone who gets trapped there. From India's vanishing shoreline, we travel to Namibia, where shipwrecks, fog, and bones gave a coast one of the darkest names on Earth. The skeleton coast does not look like a beach made for vacations. It looks like a place where ships go to die. A cold gray Atlantic crashes against a desert shore. Fog rolls in from the ocean and spreads across the sand. Rusting shipwrecks lie stranded like the bones of giant metal animals. Seal colonies gather along the coast, while dunes stretch inland toward one of the oldest deserts on Earth. Everything feels empty, ancient, and hostile. The skeleton coast runs along northern Namibia, where the Atlantic Ocean meets the Namib Desert. The danger here comes from isolation, fog, rough seas, and the complete lack of easy escape. For centuries, dense fog caused ships to run aground. If sailors survived the wreck, they faced another nightmare, a desert coastline with little fresh water, little shelter, and almost no chance of walking out safely. The region earned names that sound almost mythical. Portuguese sailors called parts of it the Gates of Hell, while local traditions described it as a land made in anger. When you see the wrecks, the fog, and the endless sand, the names do not feel exaggerated. Today, the skeleton coast is protected and visited by adventurous travelers, but its history is still written across the shore. Every wreck is a warning. Every rusted hull says the same thing. The ocean may break you, and the desert may finish what the ocean started. But the skeleton coast kills through isolation and time. The next beach can turn deadly in seconds. From Namibia's shipwreck coast, we move north to Iceland, where black sand and white surf create one of the most dangerous beaches in Europe. Number 7. Reynisfjara Beach, Iceland. Reynisfjara is one of the most photographed beaches in Iceland. It is also one of the easiest places to make a fatal mistake. Jet black volcanic sand stretches beneath towering basalt columns. White waves explode against the shore. Offshore sea stacks rise from the water like dark stone towers. The entire beach looks cinematic, almost unreal, especially under gray Icelandic skies. But the ocean here is not background scenery. It is the threat. Reynisfjara is famous for sneaker waves, sudden waves that rush much farther up the beach than people expect. These waves can appear after several smaller waves, catching visitors off guard when they stand too close to the water. The beach also has a steep drop-off, powerful undertow, and freezing North Atlantic water. If someone is pulled in, survival can become extremely difficult very quickly. Warning signs at Reynisfjara are large and clear. They tell visitors not to turn their back on the ocean and to stay far from the waterline. Yet people still underestimate the waves because the beach looks open, flat, and safe between surges. This is what makes Reynisfjara so haunting. Many visitors come for the perfect photo. They step closer, wait for the right angle, and forget that the wave pattern can change without warning. At Reynisfjara, the difference between a beautiful memory and a disaster can be a few steps. But Reynisfjara has one main killer: the waves. The next beach has almost too many dangers to count, because it is in Australia, and Australia does not play fair. From Iceland's black sand, we travel to the world's largest sand island, where paradise comes with predators, venom, and warning signs. Number 6. Kagari/Fraser Island, Australia. Kagari means paradise, but this paradise has sharks in the water, dingoes on land, and four-wheel drives racing down the beach. Long golden beaches stretch for miles along the Queensland coast. Blue water crashes against white sand. Rainforest grows from dunes. Freshwater lakes shine inland like mirrors. At first glance, Kagari looks like a dream. Then you realize the main beach is also a highway. Kagari is the largest sand island in the world. Its eastern beach, 75-mile beach, is not just a shoreline. It is legally used by four-wheel drive vehicles and even small aircraft. The ocean can also be dangerous. Sharks patrol the waters, strong currents make swimming risky, and marine stingers can appear in warmer months. The island demands your constant attention. Few beaches on Earth combine so many hazards in one place. On Kagari, you may need to watch for vehicles, planes, wildlife, currents, sharks, and jellyfish, all while standing on what looks like an empty tropical beach. For the Butchulla people, Kagari has deep cultural meaning. For tourists, it is one of Australia's great wilderness destinations. But the island demands respect. This is a living ecosystem, not a controlled theme park. But Kagari's dangers are spread across land and sea. The next beach is famous for shark encounters. From Australia's wild sand island, we head to Florida, where surfers share the water with shadows moving beneath the waves. Number 5. New Smyrna Beach, Florida, United States. New Smyrna Beach looks like a classic Florida surf town, but beneath the waves, it has earned a terrifying nickname: the shark bite capital of the world. Warm Atlantic water rolls toward a wide sandy beach. Surfers paddle out beyond the break. Families walk along the shore. From above, the water can look calm and inviting, until you notice dark shapes moving near the inlet. New Smyrna Beach sits near Ponce de Leon Inlet, where nutrient-rich water attracts bait fish. Those bait fish attract sharks, especially blacktip, spinner, and bull sharks. Most bites here are not fatal. Many are cases of mistaken identity, where a shark strikes at a hand or foot in murky water and quickly releases. But the frequency of encounters is what makes New Smyrna so unsettling. Locals accept the sharks as part of the environment. Some joke that if you surf here long enough, you've been close to a shark without knowing it. For visitors, sharing waist-deep water with sharks changes the entire mood of the beach. It is active, popular, and loved. The danger exists alongside everyday life. The sharks are not invaders. They are part of the system. Humans are the ones stepping into their feeding zone. Help is close and the beach is busy. The next beach is remote, beautiful, and far less forgiving. We travel to Hawaii, where one beach has no lifeguard, no road, and currents that do not care how strong you are. If you had to visit one of these beaches but could not enter the water, which one would you choose? Drop your answer below before we reach number 1. Number 4. Hanakapiai Beach, Hawaii. Hanakapiai Beach looks like the kind of place people dream about. That is exactly why it is so dangerous. A crescent of sand sits at the mouth of a lush green valley on Kauai's Na Pali coast. Tall cliffs rise nearby. Waves crash against the shore. Behind the beach, the trail winds through jungle, rock, and dramatic coastal views. It looks untouched. It looks peaceful. It looks like the perfect place to swim after a hike. But the water is the trap. Hanakapiai Beach is reached by hiking part of the Kalalau Trail. There is no road access, no lifeguard station, and no easy rescue nearby. The beach is fully exposed to the Pacific Ocean, with no protective reef to break the force of the waves. A warning sign near the trailhead has famously tracked the number of people swept out to sea. It is not a polished tourist sign. It feels like a blunt message from people who have seen the same mistake happen too many times. The tragedy of Hanakapiai is that many people arrive tired, hot, and amazed by the beauty. They think a quick swim will be harmless. But this beach does not forgive that assumption. Here, paradise and danger are separated by one decision: entering the water. But Hanakapiai's danger comes mainly from currents and isolation. The next beach adds something more primal: ancient predators in both the ocean and the rivers. From Hawaii's remote coastline, we return to Australia, where the rainforest meets the reef in a place with one of the most honest names ever given to a beach. Number 3. Cape Tribulation, Australia. Captain James Cook named this place Cape Tribulation because here began all our troubles. More than 250 years later, the name still fits. Dense rainforest grows right down to the sand. Green mountains rise behind the coast. The water glows blue and tropical. Coral reefs lie offshore. Everything looks ancient, wild, and impossibly beautiful. But this is not a beach where beauty means comfort. Cape Tribulation sits in far north Queensland, where the Daintree rainforest meets the Great Barrier Reef. It is one of the most biodiverse coastal areas on Earth, but that biodiversity includes serious danger. The water may contain box jellyfish and irukandji jellyfish during stinger season. The reef and shallows can hide stonefish, cone snails, and other venomous creatures. It is a system that demands your respect. Saltwater crocodiles can remain almost invisible in murky water. The most dangerous crocodile is often the one you never see. Warning signs near rivers and beaches are not decoration. They exist because the threat is real. Cape Tribulation feels like deep time. The rainforest is ancient. The reef is alive. But humans who visit are guests in a system that evolved long before warning signs or roads. This place does not adapt to visitors. Visitors must adapt to it. But Cape Tribulation is still remote and wild. The next beach is terrifying because it sits inside a major city. From Australia's ancient rainforest, we travel to Brazil, where one urban beach forces a choice between paradise and the predators beneath it. Number 2. Praia de Boa Viagem, Brazil. Boa Viagem looks like the perfect city beach. Palm trees, warm water, golden sand, and shark warning signs everywhere. In Recife, high-rise buildings line the coast. People walk along the beachfront. Restaurants, hotels, and city life sit just steps from the sand. The water is turquoise and inviting, especially under the Brazilian sun. Then the red shark signs appear, warning people not to swim too deep. Praia de Boa Viagem is one of Brazil's most infamous shark risk beaches. The danger is linked to geography, murky water, and river outflows. Bull sharks are a major concern because they can move through areas influenced by rivers. It is urban, popular, and beautiful, which makes the risk even more intense. The danger here is managed through signs and local knowledge. People still go to the beach, but many stay in the shallows and avoid the deep. The scary part is that the water looks inviting. Nothing about the surface tells you what may be moving below. Boa Viagem shows how humans and predators collide in a modern city. The beach is part of Recife's identity, where people gather and live. But the shark danger has changed the city's relationship with its ocean. It is hard to love a beach when every swim carries a warning. But Boa Viagem still allows people to enjoy parts of the shore. Number 1 goes even further, an island where the ocean became so dangerous that swimming was banned. We travel to the Indian Ocean, to a tropical island where paradise became a no-swim zone. Number 1 is Réunion Island, a French island in the Indian Ocean where beautiful beaches became some of the most feared waters on Earth. From above, Réunion looks like paradise: volcanic mountains, waterfalls, green cliffs, black sand beaches, white sand beaches, coral lagoons, and blue water shining under tropical sun. But along parts of the coast, signs tell a different story. Swimming forbidden, surfing forbidden, water access restricted. Waves roll in perfectly, but people stand on shore, watching an ocean they are not allowed to enter. It is paradise with a warning label. Réunion has faced an intense shark crisis, mainly involving bull sharks and tiger sharks. Over the years, repeated encounters led authorities to impose strict bans on swimming and surfing. That tells you how serious the situation became. Unlike beaches where people simply choose to be cautious, Réunion made parts of ocean access legally restricted. That tells you how serious the situation became. The reasons behind the shark activity are debated. Some point to marine protection zones. Others point to environmental changes, prey movement, water conditions, and human activity. But whatever the causes, the result is clear. The island's relationship with the sea changed dramatically. The most shocking part is what the danger did to the community. Surf schools closed, competitions disappeared. Young surfers who grew up in the water suddenly faced a future where entering the waves could be life-threatening. This is the story of an island losing its identity. Réunion shows what happens when paradise becomes complicated. Sharks are not villains. They are apex predators doing what they've always done. But humans have culture, sports, and emotional bonds to the ocean. The conflict is painful because both sides are real. Protecting nature matters, and human safety matters. The beaches are still beautiful. The waves still break. Everything seems to invite you closer, but the message is clear: do not swim. That is what makes it the scariest beach on Earth. Not because it looks like danger, but because it looks perfect. And still, the ocean is off limits.